Hey guys, what's going on? My name is Zenaton, and welcome to today's video for Legends of Runeterra. Today, we're going to be looking at a deck that has been rising in popularity a lot recently. We're going to be looking at Tribeam today. Now, why is Tribeam rising in popularity? Well, a number of reasons. One, Deny is not that popular, and Tribeam likes it when Deny is not popular. Two, Tribeam has arguably the best removal in the game overall in its entire deck, and one of the best removal cards in the game in the form of Ravenous Flock. And removal's really good right now because of a lot of Demacia-based mid-range, Demacia Bandle City mid-range. The only deck that probably does removal better is maybe Darkness, but Darkness's removal is much, much slower and less mana efficient, so there's a trade-off, obviously. But that is basically why we're seeing a rise in Tribeam. People who like to play control are trying to control the meta, and Tribeam seems like a good choice. And it's doing fairly decently too, according to win rate numbers and so on. So let's go and look at the current list. All right, so welcome to the deck. This is my personal version of Tribeam, Caitlyn, Ezreal. Some people like the Draven version better with Draven Ezreal instead. I, at the moment, don't. Draven, I feel, is more of a tempo version if you want to play Draven Ezreal. Caitlyn is a slightly more controlly version with the flash bombs. Draven also lets you play things, discard package like Lost Souls and Rummages if you'd like that. I don't really think it's necessary. I think between Captain Farron and Tribeam, you don't need the value of Lost Soul and you don't need discard value. Get Excited is nice, but we don't really need it. We have other options. But yeah, so not gonna be sitting here too long, I think. We all know what Tribeam decks are. You play this card, Tribeam Improbulator, and you play a lot of 3-mana cards to grow the Tribeam. And then you blast something, you kill something relatively big or annoying, and you get hopefully you get a good unit. And with all the value and tempo you're creating from your solid removal, you eventually just win the game, either through just the value you've created, Ezreal or Captain Farron. Those are basically how you win. My list, I like to play Whispered Words and Aloof Travelers. I think those are just really good in the meta at the moment. I'm playing 3 Static Shocks to both turbo level Ezreal and cycle through. I just like the card a lot too, in all honesty. But yeah, there's definitely some changes you can make in this list. I just like my current list. So let's go through the deck really quick and talk about certain cards and certain numbers and certain cards that are not in the deck that you could potentially put in the deck if you'd like it. First off, Thermogenic Beam. Could also be an extra 3-mana card for your Tribeam, so that's nice, but just a solid overall removal spell. Only 2 of them. 3's a little clunky. Sometimes I like 3, sometimes I like 2. Really, it comes down to whether I can fit it. The 3rd Thermo Beam is usually a card I like to cut. 3 Ravenous Blocks. This is one of the reasons why this deck is so good. Ravenous Block is one of the best removal spells in the game. Pretty much 1 mana deal 4 damage. You can really just look at it as 1 mana kill a unit. Most things are going to die if you deal 4 damage to it. Very, very few things will survive a Ravenous Flock, because they're already damaged, of course, or stunned, I guess. 3 House Spiders. Now, this is a card I feel like I should talk about. I like 3 House Spiders at the moment. The main reason for that is all the Yordle and Arm decks and just Bandle City decks in general. There's a lot of go wide stuff in the meta. So I like 3 House Spiders. I know some people, and kind of myself included, like Pharaoh's Financier instead of House Spider. It's definitely a choice. Right now, I don't think the meta is slow enough to play Financier over House Spider. Sure, I've considered playing over the 3rd House Spider of Financier, but the reason I don't like Financier, the Pharaoh's Financier pool for Noxus PNZ is really, really bad. Noxus, I think, only has 3 spells for the Financier pool. I don't even remember all the names of them. Got Reckoning, 6 mana, kill all things with 4 or less power if you have a 5 power unit. I think something like that. And then the other 2 spells from Noxus are The 8 mana deal, I think it's deal 5, summon the Trifarian something. The 6/5 fearsome, I think. We can just look at it here really quick. Weapons of Loss, yeah. Trifarian, it's not even deal 5. Wow, it's deal 3. It's even worse than I thought. And then the other Noxus card is Strength in Numbers, which is actually kind of okay, but not amazing. And that's why I don't like Pharaoh's Financier. Nothing great from Noxus. And sure, PNZ is fine, but whatever. But yeah, that's why we play 3 House Spiders instead of, and no Financiers. I don't like Financier in this list. 3 Mystic Shots. I mean, we're a removal deck, and this card is just really good at removing things. 3 Arachnoid Sentries. It's a 3 mana card, and it synergizes well with Flock. Also good against some decks like Lurk, so we'll play 3 of them. Our champions, we're going to play 3 of each. Not really another champion we want to play. Our champions are pretty much more 3 mana cards. I've seen some people say you can cut a Caitlyn. I don't like that. Because if I'm playing Caitlyn, I want Caitlyn's champ spell, which is Piltover Peacemaker, because it's another 3 mana card, and it's just solid removal too. Speaking of which, we're playing 2 Peacemakers. Playing Peacemaker itself in your deck is not the worst. I don't like this card, which is why I'm only playing 2 of them, but I feel like I need to play at least a couple more of these 3 mana cards in the removal slot, like a 3 mana removal spell, and there's not really any other option. There's Death's Hand, which is basically just 3 mana deal 2 as well, because the 1 damage to face doesn't matter too much to you. And the only other card I would even consider is Culling Strike, and I'm not a fan of Culling Strike in the current meta. I really just think Culling Strike is a bad card now because there's so many ways to buff cards and get it out of Culling Strike range in response to a Culling Strike, so basically Sharp Sight and Twin Disciplines. Sure, Twin's not that popular because Ionion's not that popular, but Sharp Sight's very popular. And of course you have other smaller things like Conchologist spells and Pale Cascade and so on and so forth. So yeah, I'm not a fan of Culling Strike. It can hit Vagar, which is cute, but I'd rather just play 2 Peacemakers over, say, like 2 Culling Strikes. 3 Scorched Earths. I hate Bandletree. That's pretty much my reasoning here for 3 Scorched Earths. If you're not running into too much Bandletree, you could actually cut down the number of Scorched Earths and go down to like 2 and play a Guillotine, like a Noxian Guillotine instead. But Scorched Earth is just so good. Because it can also just deals with random landmarks, things your opponents will find from Bomber Twins, Star Springs. You see a little bit of Tom Rock out there, and of course it lets you just crush Bandletree. So I play 3 of them, but I know some people like to do a 2-1 split, 2 Scorched Earth, 1 Guillotine. I've seen some people play no Scorched Earth and just 3 Guillotines. I think that's very wrong. I think one of the strengths of this deck is that it can actually play landmark removal, Scorched Earth, and not have it be a bad card, because Scorched Earth is also really good against, say, Pantheon decks. You know, you get rid of a Wounded White Flame, a Saga Seeker, etc., etc. 3 Archivist, another 3-drop to help grow our Tri-Beam, and just a very strong value card. Hitting removal if you need it, hitting some value if you need it, like Static Shock or Whispered Words. There's always the option, the chance that you hit nothing and then you just play a 3-mana 3/3, which is bad, but not the worst. 2 Aloof Travelers. I like playing this over more Whispered Words or other card draw spells because I just like the hand disruption it gives you, getting rid of things like Ruination, Vengeances, Mini-Morphs. It's just a really nice card, and the body's not that bad, and while it's a weak body, we have a lot of removal, so the tempo loss from playing a 4-mana 2/3 is not that bad. 3 Static Shocks. This is a card you could cut. You could definitely go down to 1 or 2 Static Shocks if you want to play other stuff, like either more 3-mana cards, more removal, more late game, more early game. It's up to you. I just like 3 Static Shocks, levels up your Ezreal quickly, and it just seems really nice at the moment, but if you run into a lot of, I guess, Rangers Resolve decks, it's not that strong. 2 Whispered Words. We're not activating Reputation with this deck. In theory, you could with a big Tri-Beam unit or a Captain Farron, but we're pretty much not activating it. This is just a 4-mana draw 2. It's one of the weaknesses of not playing Draven and discard fodder. We can't play something like Rummage, but we still want draw 2 kind of cards, so we play Whispered Words. And then basically the centerfold of the deck, Tri-Beam, kill a big thing or annoying thing and get a unit, and hopefully it's a good unit. There you go. Pretty much our only way to get life gain too. Just hope to RNG into life gain. That's the only way you can gain life in this deck. We don't really have any other RNG besides that, so just a thing to keep in mind if you're really, really desperate for lifesteal. Like, I think 6 mana is what you would roll for if you want to find life gain, lifesteal. And then 2 Captain Farron's. Basically, the how have I not won the game yet? Just drop a Farron and win the game with your Decimates, and Farron himself, because he's an 8/8 with Overwhelm. So yeah, that's pretty much the deck. Like I said, nothing new here, but I think it's really good in the meta. And also just it's a fun deck. Like, Tri-Beam's a deck that a lot of people really, really like to play, and hasn't really been good for a while, but I think it's actually really strong right now. So we're going to go and take it for a try on the ladder. So let's go. Okay. Shyvana J4, Demacia Targon. Not a deck I'm really expecting to see, but I've seen decks like this. It's basically dragons, but instead of playing Aurelion Sol, they play J4 to make the deck faster. Like, I've played this deck before myself. I guess this person's just someone who wanted to play dragons. As for mulligans, pretty much exactly what you would expect from a Tri-Beam deck. Look for Tri-Beam, and in this case, Caitlyn. And thankfully we found Tri-Beam, because the rest of our hand is a little bad. But thankfully we're against dragons. We don't need a fast hand. Sure, double Farron in our opener is really, really bad, but thankfully we found a Tri-Beam. If I can find a Caitlyn, I really, really like this start. Also great that they have nothing here. But yeah, I think we're in an okay spot. I'm just going to pass here. If they attack, I might play Static Shock. So we're going to just do that now. Really, the Shyvana is the only problem here. Okay, multiple Static Shocks. A little afraid of all this damage I'm going to be taking because we can't heal. I'm just going to pass again. If they play Shyvana, I'll just Static Shock.
Monsters with heart are still monsters.
Yeah, we'll just Static Shock here. And then we'll probably Scorched Earth. We're not going to play the House Bite. We're going to Scorch Earth Shyvana here. They don't have reach, so I'm not afraid of taking all this damage from the Dragon Guard. So yeah, we'll just Scorched Earth. And if they have Guiding Touch, we can play Mystic Shot. Yep, there's the Guiding Touch, which is to be expected. Hopefully they don't have Bastion. Nice, that's really good for me. This is kind of annoying though, but whatever. But yeah, we're in an okay spot here. Never mind. Hopefully our Archivist gets us a good card here. We could probably get rid of a J4 with that. Let's do that.
You dropped something. I dropped everything.
Got rid of Captain Aurica? Oh, that's not something I was expecting. My Tri-Beam is really, really weak right now. I'm gonna play the House Spider. I don't like this play, but I think I have to do it.
How soon Demacia forgets.
That's really scary. That's like really scary. And now I assume J4 is coming out. Because we hit Captain Aurica. We didn't hit a J4, so... Okay. I assume the 2/2 gets pulled in here. I can block. I can do this, and I can do... This one's really awkward. So if I block like this, though, the problem is, yeah, she'll go up to 7. I don't know, I think this might be the play? Or maybe this? I'll keep around a 2/1. Yeah, I kind of like this play, too. I keep nothing this way. Yeah, I think this one's the... I think this is the line. Now I can flock. Mystic Shot's great. Do have an Ezreal. So yeah, we're just gonna pass here. I hope they play Rally. I really hope they just don't play a Guiding Touch here just randomly. I don't want to play Flock before they play Rally or Single Combat. All right, so they don't have a Flock, or they don't have a anything here, but we'll just play Caitlyn first.
What have we here?
This tempo they've got is crazy, by the way. It's so good. I'm just really worried. I think this J4 Shyvana deck's just gonna completely crush me in tempo. The double Dragon Guard really hurt, and double Shyvana too. Like, they had 2 Shyvanas and a J4. That was a really strong start. It also didn't help that, you know, double Farron at the start. Pretty much just meant 2 of my cards were blanks. I could have gone for Ezreal here. I'm not going to play him. I don't think Ezreal is going to be great here. So they are running out of cards. That is good for me. Feels like they might be running out of actual units, I hope.
One step ahead.
We're just going to attack in like this. It's obvious I have a Mystic Shot or 2 damage, really, but I don't care.
The trap is set.
Okay, they just took it. That's actually kind of bad. I really needed to hit removal there.
Blackleaf Brew Inspector and their biscuits.
So I think I'm in trouble, first off. This Tri-Beam's not big enough. Like, that's the problem. I could Mystic Shot and then Thermo to grow my Tri-Beam, but that doesn't do anything. So I'm thinking, like, Thermo Beam here. I think I'll Mystic Shot for now. Guiding Touch. Darn. I was really hoping for a Flash Bomb. Okay, Dragon Chow's annoying. But we'll just pass, I think, is the play. Really need a Flash Bomb to hit one of these units, and I didn't get a Flash Bomb at all. And I drew an Ezreal. That's not good. I'm not dead. I am not dead on board. That is the good news.
Nothing was saved.
What's the motive?
1 health is kind of a yikes. Kind of a very big yikes, though. I assume they're just going to play Dragon's Clutch here. Yep, GG. I don't have anything here, yeah, so GG. Drew too many units.
We've gathered what we need to know.
All right, so Draven Rumble, a Decimate deck basically. They're a very aggressive deck. I'm still gonna just throw away everything for Caitlyn, Tri-Beam, and Thermo Beam and House Spider wouldn't be bad either. I got none of them. Okay, that's a pretty bad start then. That's in fact a really, really bad start. Okay, never mind. It's good now. We're safe-ish. Not really, but that does help. If I can find... I don't know. I think I had a Mystic Shot. I could have kept the Mystic Shot, if I remember correctly, but I don't like keeping Mystic Shot here. Okay, that's good. That's good that that wasn't a Rider. That was a Captain Farron getting discarded, so that's nice to see. because we have no healing in this deck. Every point of damage we take is permanent. Whispered Words is a very, very bad draw. I could have just passed here, actually. In fact, it probably was correct to pass here.
Flesh was weak, but look at me now.
Yeah, now that I think about it, it was correct to pass here, so I could play Archivist and have mana to cast a Mystic Shot. Thankfully, the deck bailed me out and just gave me Mystic Shot. Because Draven. So yeah, the good news is we're not taking damage here outside of Ignitions.
And if it helps.
They are drawing. That is a little annoying. So they discarded. They haven't discarded a Lost Soul. Either my opponent's playing around my aloof, or they don't have a Lost Soul in their deck.
Elf, that's not ours.
Nice. That's really, really nice to see. No Decimate now. So they discarded a Farron themselves, and I made them discard Decimate. That's really big. And I drew a Tri-Beam, so I think I got this game. As long as I don't take any more damage from units, I think this game is mine. I've got Static Shock for the 2/1s, Mystic Shock for... Well, I'll Static Shock that instead, probably. Mystic Shot for Draven. Static Shock can also just ping off a Spell Shield from Rumble. This Rumble does look like it's going to be really annoying, though. But yeah, I'm not attacking in here. There's no good attack here. Like, trading a 2/3 for a 3/1 doesn't seem like a good trade. I am a little worried about this Rumble, though. I feel like they have Rumble by now, and they're probably just setting it up by playing this Boom Baboon. They're going to play Rumble, discard, Chomper, Ignition, and some other card, and I'm going to... Okay, not Rumble. I'm going to be a little greedy here. This is probably incorrect to do. Peacemaker's a great draw, though. This is probably not correct, though. But this is a little greedy. I do like that I hit this. That was a huge hit. And I think I can afford this, though. I think I can afford this greed here instead of just having a Mystic Shock, Static Shock play here. Yep, you got it, opponent. And we'll just Peacemaker now. Pretty nice. And we still have Static Shock. Not Static Shock, Mystic Shot. There's so many shots and shocks in this deck. But we have Mystic Shot here in case we need to remove any more annoying things. And thankfully, House Spider doing its job, just holding our opponents back. That's fine. What are you doing here? Were you trying to set up a survival skills and forgot that this guy has augment? That feels like they were setting up survival skills. So I'm going to play around survival skills now. Either that or I'm getting baited. Like, this is some 5-head level baiting here where it's like, oh, I misplayed. But watch out, though. I might have survival skills. I mean, survival skills is just going to save Ballistic Bot, which I guess I should be scared of ambush Ballistic Bot. Yeah, I guess that's what I'm afraid of. We're just going to block everything we can here. Oh, come on. Attack in with that, too. But yeah, just going to block everything here. Nothing crazy this turn. Really don't think my opponent can win this game. Losing Farron. I mean, they had to discard Farron, and then I made them discard a Decimate. I don't think they can come back from this. Draven Rumble, in my opinion, always feels like if it doesn't draw Rumble and doesn't get a good Rumble attack, it just feels bad. That's still fine. I guess that's nice in that it leaves you a Chomper behind. It's cute. How's our Tri-Beam looking? 3 damage? Okay, not bad, not bad. So, just gonna block like this and keep our stuff alive. And GG. Removal, too good. Well, we got a mirror. The mirror is awful, by the way. This is one of the reasons why I do not actually play this deck too often. Really, it's going to be a weird matchup. It's like, who plays the first unit? And in fact, I'm going to mulligan everything for Tri-Beam. I feel like this matchup comes down to Tri-Beams, and if I or my opponent gets a Tri-Beam or not. Farron's important in this matchup too, but if I don't draw Tri-Beams and my opponent does, also Ezreal's important in this matchup too, that's where this matchup is going to turn. Gonna head down. Whatever you want to call it. In other words, give me Tri-Beam, please. Good news is they don't really... Okay, there's my Tri-Beam. The good news is they don't play anything, so they seem to know how to play this matchup, which is kind of bad for me. Other good news is it passes to them, and they have the first priority on turn 10, or when we have 10 cards. Bad news, they're playing Financier. Good news, Financier is kind of bad for them, so we're just going to Mystic Shot him. And the reason that's kind of good for us is they still have 10 cards. They still have to play stuff. Are you playing main deck assembly? No, that's from the Financier. Well, that's kind of annoying. So, I mean, I like this. I like this. We're gonna just open pass here. Force them to play a card first, because if they pass, they burn a card, and I don't burn a card, and I think that's great for me. And welcome to the mirror. This is pretty much exactly what you expect from the mirror. Archivist is annoying, but I can deal with it. We're just gonna play Caitlyn here.
Oh, what have we here?
Got our Tri-Beam growing, that's nice. Some Fumes is pretty annoying. And we're just gonna do this. Hopefully we hit some good cards here. Mystic Shot going face. Alright. But yeah, this is a weird matchup. It either comes down to you get so much more tempo, or you go slightly more control-y. And I'm trying to do the slightly more control-y plan because, well, in all honesty, my start has not been good.
I thought you'd never ask.
So this one's interesting. I'm gonna do this, so they can't attack in with these two. And we're just gonna let this go through. We're gonna just let this go through, and then I'm gonna play another Static Shock. I'm trying to save, like, I'm just trying my hardest to save all of my 3-mana cards that I can for these Tri-Beams. That's kind of good. Okay. Gonna pass here. Their Ezreal is still not a problem yet. I'm gonna start with this because I don't want them to play a Farron this turn.
Dropped something. I dropped everything.
Got rid of a Thermo Beam instead. That's not great, but it's still kind of okay. It's okay because Thermo Beam's kind of a flexible piece of removal in this matchup, and them not having access to that is kind of nice.
We have something on that case.
Not the greatest, though. Alright, we can just pass here. That's fine. I'll just play my own Archivist now. Hopefully I hit... That's not great.
Exciting than an unsolved mystery.
That's actually really not great. Yeah, I'm not a fan of hitting that. So I could kill Ezreal here, but I'm not going to. I will do this, though.
Do I have to?
I like this attack. Scorched Earth on a 2-1 and a Peacemaker here. Okay. With that... So their Ezreal's about to level up. A little scary. So I could Thermo Beam? Like, I could Static Shock here. Like that. And then Thermo Beam Ezreal instead of just Thermoing Ezreal. Which I like a lot more. Hopefully I don't draw a Flash Bomb here. Because if I draw a Flash Bomb, then they'll just get 3 free damage, which is really bad. Okay. That's fine. I don't mind that at all. There's my Ezreal. Okay, hello. And we do that. All right, so good news. I have card advantage. That is good. Bad news, they get 3 free damage here if they open attack. That's a good draw. They can't play Farron here. They've got Ezreal. I want to grow my Tri-Beam one more, so I'm going to play the Sentry instead of just Tri-Beaming right away. When I play Tri-Beams, the numbers I look for are 5, 6, and 8. I think are the strong ones. And there's an 8 damage Tri-Beam from them. Pretty bad. Thankfully, their unit they got was not that good. And we'll just play this. This is pretty sweet. We get a Scorched Earth here on Riptide Rex if they attack. And we'll play our Ezreal too. And we'll probably Tri-Beam Ezreal at the start of our turn. I think that is a great play. So yeah, like we've got card advantage. We both have Ezreals. That's a Mystic Shock into a Flock, I assume. That's fine. That is completely fine. Maybe double Mystic Shock. That's actually not that bad. So now the game is basically, did you have 2 Tri-Beams when I only had 1? Yep, that's a Flock. Hopefully I get a good 6-drop. Something with Lifesteal would be great. That's not a good 6-drop. It's pretty bad, in fact. And I'm just going to pass here. I don't have anything I want to play. I don't really have an attack. Like, the 4/4 is an okay attack. I will do this. That one is not a terrible attack. And we'll just pass. Could have played Caitlyn first, but I wasn't a fan of that play. Thermo's nice because of their Farron. Good news, I've killed 2 Ezreals. Bad news, they have him. So I think I'll start with this. And maybe, yeah, I think this, Archivist, and hope I get something cheap so I can ping him and Scorched Earth. It's not cheap, but it will work. Yep. Decimate me. So I get a 2-drop here. That's kind of nice. 3/1's not terrible. So I could Scorched Earth and play Farron if I don't spend this 2 mana. Kind of like that play. Or I could just play Ezreal. I like that a little more. Alright, so health is low. That's bad. But yeah, it looks like my opponent's succeeding in their plan. They created more tempo than me. That's pretty bad. We're going to just do this right away because of that play. They drew 3 Ezreals. Hopefully they don't have a Mystic Shot or something. Oh yeah, we're dead. GG. With 2 spells and a Decimate in hand, we're super dead here. And they had the Mystic Shot. Yeah, rip. Well, they just drew too many decimates. Couldn't really do anything about that. And dead.
Best 2 out of 3?
Okay, Pantheon. This is one of the decks that I'm trying to prey on. We're just gonna, again, like a lot of our mulligans, mulligan for Tri-Beams and Caitlyn's, and we found none of them. Not doing too well with my mulligans today, it seems. Okay, Caitlyn's good. Thankfully, this is not a matchup where Tri-Beam is that important. This is mostly a Scorched Earth Ravenous Flock matchup. No Saga Seeker on one's great. Bright Steel here is interesting. I feel like that means they have Yuumi?
I'm ready to
Wow. Well, good news for us is their hand is awful.
Me, miss? Not by a lot.
Now here's the question. Do I block if they attack?
Turning
Yes.
yourself in?
I'm doing this because I know their hand is bad. This loses to Chain Vest, but I'm not going to play around Chain Vest. A lot of those decks don't even play Chain Vest anymore. Sometimes it's only a 1-of, and that didn't feel like a Chain Vest. They could have been bluffing, of course, but meh. This might be a fast game, too, if that was their play.
Is a trail painted
Ugh.
with blood.
I'll Peacemaker it before they play Yuumi on it. Or at least attempt to. If they waste, if they're gonna waste some removal spell or protection spells on this, that's good for me. Sure. Could flock this if I wanted, but should I? Probably not going to, in all honesty. We'll just probably Peacemaker that. Nice. That happened.
Wait, you've been following me?
So I'm gonna start with this. If they will not waste a, I'm surprised they didn't open attack, but it kind of makes sense. Good. I did that play because I didn't want them to waste a, and I'll just take this 5. Yeah, I'll just take this 5. I didn't want them to, I wanted them to waste a sharp side on the goat here, and I'm not gonna kill this. I don't think this is worth. There's more flash bombs too, so I don't need to flock right away. And I want to get some archivist value. You know, when I said value, I didn't mean cards, but I'll take them.
A card from our other case.
And if they rally, you've always got Scorched Earth. Another Ezreal. Interesting. So the good news is, I don't actually have, I guess I have Sentry. Like, that's good news.
You're covered.
That's fine. That's actually really good because that means they can't rally this turn. And we'll just Scorched here. If they have Bastion, we can flock to remove this. It's not terrible to hit there.
What's the motive?
Kind of wish I had a Mystic Shot or something. Please don't have Bastion. They had Bastion. Please don't have anything else, like multiple Guiding Touches. Okay. All right, that's fine. That's actually really, really fine. The fact that they're actually wasting a single combat, too, is really good for me. Maybe they're trying to save the Bright Seal because they don't have... I'm going to play this, too, by the way. Maybe they don't have another unit. Maybe that's why they're doing it. Like, they're about to play Yuumi here. Yep. You've played a Sharp Sight, right? I'm pretty sure you've played a Sharp Sight earlier. Yeah, there's one Sharp Sight down.
I don't miss.
This kind of sucks. They wouldn't Sharp Sight here anyway, would they?
Can't
Cool.
stop me.
So I could just Mystic Shot now. Oh, that's annoying. Hopefully he doesn't hit Spell Shield. He hit Spell Shield. Alright, okay.
Firing. They don't know
Good
what they're
news?
up against.
I popped the Spell Shield. Bad news? I feel a rally coming. Farron, Scorched. There are Flash Bombs! Oh, it's not a Scorched Earth. We can't stop that, so sure. Can I kill Pantheon? No. Get in there, House Spider. So yeah, good news. Our health is still relatively high. Hopefully a Flash Bomb hits Pantheon. We didn't hit a Flash Bomb at all. I don't know if that's good. I'm probably going to have to Scorch that. Oh, that's really good to see. They Daybreaked and they didn't get another Zenith Blade. So unless my opponent's playing 2 Zenith Blades only, that means one of the cards in their hand is a Zenith Blade. You have Quick Attack. I'm gonna do this. And I think I might Scorched Earth this. Am I really going to do it? So that's only the first attack. I'm worried about I'm just thinking about rally. And I think I can let this go through. Play Ezreal, Thermo Beam.
Time for a true display of skill.
Because if they rally here... Alright, on Pantheon, sure. I am kind of banking on hitting a Flash Bomb on this Pantheon. Nice. It's kind of good. Even if I don't hit Flash Bomb on Pantheon, I still have Ezreal. Ezreal will give me a Mystic Shot. Or I'll just attack in with everything here first up, obviously. And if I get some chip damage... Oh, there's Tri-Beam, okay.
Stop bragging if you can.
If they block here, that activates my Scorched Earth anyway.
Ooh, that's gotta hurt.
Please rally. No? Okay. Sure. We'll just do it now. 2 and 4, okay. Not great for our Tri-Beams, but not the worst.
I'm ready to play, bop, and knock over some cups.
Try this. My only loss, or my only out... the only way I lose this game, I think, is from a Pantheon. I'm not going to Tri-Beam that. I'm going to just draw cards here. Okay, Phlox. Interesting. But yeah, a Pantheon with that rolls well. That's all I'm worried about. A high-rolling Pantheon. Okay, Guiding Touch. Just cycling. You got it. It's kind of good. I'm just going to play Farron here. I could flock that, but I'll just play Farron here. GG. It's not really a need to flock just yet. In other words, Yuumi being on the field is actually kind of annoying for them. It makes their other Yuumi's spells. And good game.
And Ezreal is victorious. Oh yeah.
Okay, so welcome back to the deck. 4 games. We went 2 and 2. Not bad, not great. I will say this. My excuse for that? I always gotta have an excuse. My excuse for not doing that well is, I'll be the first to tell you, I'm not great at tri-beam decks. I play them not the best. I play pretty poorly, pretty not the tightest, if you will. But still, pretty decent for someone who is willing to admit that they're not good at tri-beam decks. We went against some weird mid-rangey Demacia Dragons deck, lost to it. We kind of just got out-tempoed. Also went into a mirror and got a little out-tempoed too. Our wins were against a Draven Rumble deck, who just conceded really quickly because of our solid removal, and a Yuumi Pantheon deck, which is one of the decks that this deck is trying to prey upon. Another deck we're trying to prey upon is Demacia Go Wide, Yordle, and Arms decks, which we didn't see, but I wanted to run into it just to see how the matchup feels. But yeah, this is the deck. Definitely a lot of room for tech and modifications, depending on what you would like. Maybe you think Static Shock is too many at 3. It probably is. In all honesty, I'm considering I'll cut one of them for a Financier. Even though I don't like Financier in this deck, I think it might be the correct play. But still, this is a pretty solid deck for the current meta. And I'm probably going to be playing it a little bit more on my stream, so of course you can always check that out if you want. And I'd love to hear your opinions on this deck. Do you think it is strong in the meta? Do you think this list could use some changes to the meta? Really comes down to what you see in the meta and what kind of cards and what tech options you want to play to try to counter what you see. Like a lot of control decks, you tech for what you see. Anyway, though, that's going to be it for the video. I hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, please be sure to leave a like or a comment down below. Always helps out the channel. And helps me out, of course, as well. And if you guys want to keep up on the Legends of Runeterra content, you can always go and subscribe to the channel as well. Also, if you want to watch me play some Legends of Runeterra, you can go and check me out over on Twitch at twitch.tv/Zenaton, where I stream pretty much every single day. Anyway, though, with that all said and done, thank you all once more for watching this video. And until I see you guys in the next one, bye!